Welcome back to the Wigs by Brit YouTube channel. So today, y'all, we are making a salt and pepper wig, and I'm going to be using this 613 hair, y'all. It is absolutely beautiful. I love the luster of this hair. So right now, I'm just going ahead and getting it wet. I'm going to deep condition it and prepare it for the Shimmer Light shampoo. So this is the shampoo you're going to use, and you want to put this on there to remove any brassiness, because yellow has like a purple, has a, well, let me say this: yellow and purple mixed together make green. You do not want this wig to be green. So you want to take out all the brassiness of this wig. So I'm just going in with the shimmer lights to remove all the brassiness from this unit, because in order for the gray to truly take, you have to take the brassiness out. So next I'm going in with some chrome permanent hair dye. I got this dye from Sally's. I seen another girl on YouTube use it, and she got the perfect gray. I'm also going to go in with some Carol 20 volume developer. I got a plastic bag, y'all. Don't worry why it's puffed up. I had blue in it for the effects. But since this is my first time doing this and I didn't have that much hair dye, I just went on ahead and I put it in a baggie. I also seen this method done on YouTube as well. So you can add as much volume developer as you want. Do not be stingy. This is a big old wig and you have to get everything saturated. And anything that doesn't get saturated, we'll just cover it up with the black. So go ahead and mix both the elements in there. As I started mixing, I did discover that I didn't have enough volume developer in there, so I went on ahead and added some more. Now, the reason why I'm using 20 volume developer and not 40 or 30 is because I do not want to over process this hair. 613 hair has already been processed, and I don't want to over process it more than what it already has. So I decided to use a 20 volume developer and just let it sit, because after a certain amount of time, it's going to stop processing anyway. Go ahead and put your wig in the bag, and y'all just start tossing it around, squeezing it around, banging it around. You want to make sure that you get every strand fully saturated. So here you see me just squeezing, tossing it around, making sure I'm getting everything fully saturated. So I left the hair in the bag for about 45 minutes, and I just cut me a timer on. While it's in the bag, I'm still squishing it around, and you can see that it's starting to turn silver. Literally within it being in the bag for 5 minutes, the color had already started to take, and you can see that the color did really well. So now 45 minutes are up. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this out the bag. You see me here just checking the color. Y'all, look at that gray. Now remember, I was telling you there will be some pieces that don't take. So what I ended up doing was going in with some gray hair dye. But before I did that, I wanted to blow dry this wig, because I seen that the color doesn't really show up until the wig has been fully blow dried. So I just wanted to make sure that I blow dried the wig, and then that way I could see what pieces didn't get dye on it, or what pieces were kind of dyed, what pieces were semi-dyed, what pieces were kind of colored. Doing that was a lot easier than to just put the dye on while it was wet. So I'm going in with Majestic Silver. And y'all, I am doing this the lazy way. I personally recommend you just go in each row and part it out. But like I said, I'm doing it the lazy way. So I literally just took the silver hair dye and brushed it through. I squeezed it onto the wig and I just brushed it through. And I did that until it wasn't any more yellow spots. I found this technique to be a lot easier than sitting there going through each row. You see, I'm just sitting here parting it out, squeezing the dye on, and going to the next section, because I was lazy. And I should have just watercolored everything else, but I didn't want to alter the silver that was already on there. And I just assumed that this technique would be the easiest for me to do. So now you see me just brushing it through. And y'all, look at this gray. It's giving, okay, honey? I wish she would have just left it gray. But it's okay. Granny wants salt and pepper. She gonna get salt and pepper. So now I'm here going through blow drying. This color started to show up really good once it was dry. And from here, I'm going to go in and put the black hair dye in. I'm using 1N by Carol. I also going to use the rest of that 20 volume developer. And again, the reason why I'm using the 20, I should have actually went in with 10, But it's okay. I found that the 20 volume developer, it didn't really over process the hair at all. Like the hair still had its luster to it. So here you see me just mixing up that 20 volume developer and mixing up that black hair dye. So now the black hair dye does come out purple, y'all, but over time it's gonna turn black. So my camera died on me, and I only have me doing this row. And y'all, please make sure you put gloves on both hands. I ruined my nails by doing this. And then here is where you'll see I'm going in and I'm putting the black dye on each row. So I guess you want to do every other row. So the bottom row was black, and then I'll skip a row, and then I'll leave that section down, and then the next row I'll go in and put black hair dye on, and then I'll skip the next row and leave that row down and leave it silver, and then the next row I'll go in, I'll leave it down and leave it silver. You can kind of see where the silver is poking through in the back here. And that is where I was doing the every other row. Now, y'all, I am not going to lie. This was so messy. It was so messy. And now that I'm thinking about it, I should have went about this a whole different way. But by this being my first time, I was just trying something new, and I thought that I knew what I was doing. But y'all, it was black dye everywhere. So I would highly, highly suggest you put maybe like a towel down, or you go in the kitchen or somewhere where the floor won't stain. Because y'all, in my workspace, I got carpet. It's so many little black dots in my carpet. It is unreal. And just make sure you take your time when you're doing this, because it is so messy. Literally take your time. Like, that dye is not going anywhere, and it's still going to process. It's still going to turn black, even once you get to the last point. As you can see, everything turned black, and I took my time. Oh my God, I took my time. So now you just want to rinse all this dye out, and y'all, you can't really see it from here, but that black and gray looked so good when it was wet. So right here, I'm just blow drying it out. I want to see, how that color took. And I really just want to see if it's giving the salt and pepper look how like most older women have. Because this was my first time, and your girl was scared, but I did that. Look at that. Look at that salt and pepper mix. And then I was just doing some tricks in the back just to see like how my little highlight game was going. And my highlight game is my biggest flex. So now I'm going in with some black dye, and I'm going to do the closure just because I don't want the entire closure to be black. So I'm going in with the small tooth comb. You'll dab the comb in the dye. And then once you dab the comb in the dye, you're going to put it directly on the roots. Not the lace, just the roots. Now, some people put Got To Be Free spray on there, but I don't find that I need to use that, so I prefer not to. But, y'all, this color, I like the black on the roots, and I like the gray, especially you see how the top row I left it gray. So once the closure part is flipped over the first track, it's going to blend perfectly. Now when you're doing this, please take your time. Go slow. And you see how I'm using fine little strokes. You want to use very small strokes, and you want to pull those black roots up until, well, for her natural hair, a lot of her roots are always black because she dyes them. So she just wanted me to mimic her natural hairline. So with me mimicking how her natural hair is, her black roots do go up pretty far. But it's honestly personal preference on how far you want the black roots to go up, because you could just do little or you could do a lot. And here's me showing you the little bit of black roots that I did. And y'all, look at this gray and black. It is giving. Oh my God, I'm so in love. I'm so in love. And here is the closure completely finished. I put the black dye on, and I did all of the roots. And you can see this transparent closure did not get a drop of dye on it. So here in this light, it's looking purple, y'all, but I promise it is gray. The silver is gray you could ever imagine. So you just want to go in and flat iron it. And she wanted a bob, so you got to cut the ends and everything like that just to make sure it's even, Take your time when you're flat ironing it. The luster of the hair, in my opinion, with me dying over it twice, never changed. Go in with your flat iron and flat iron at closure. So this is the final look of the salt and pepper gray and black wig. Y'all, I'm in love with the color. Like, it's the perfect amount of gray and black. My grandma asked for something natural, so it's definitely giving natural, especially with the plucking in the front and the little side part. It's giving. Okay, let me turn on, let y'all see it back. Ooh, I almost just fell. But y'all, I absolutely love the color. I love how natural it is. Like, it's not too thick. I only use 2 bundles. And a closure, y'all, this is perfect. Like, let me let y'all see the color. Like, the gray and the black is hitting perfect. I don't even know if hitting a word, but y'all, it's giving, okay? Tell them to get with me. Wigsbybrit.com. Brit got 2 T's.